Good morning everyone. Today we are going to learn one of the most fascinating topic in the novel drug delivery systems, that is Transdermal Drug Delivery Systems, TDDS. So before we start, let me ask you a simple question. So if you have a headache, so what medicine do you actually take? So the expected answer is tablet only. Yes, that's correct. So most of us take a tablet. So the tablet goes to the stomach, dissolves, is absorbed in the intestines, enters the bloodstreams, and then passes to the liver before reaching the rest of the body. So now imagine a patient who cannot swallow the tablet. So is vomiting, is unconscious, or has a difficulty taking the medicine every day. So what can we do? So some of you may say injections. Yes, injections also work, but they can be painful, expensive, require trained personnel, and may cause some infections in some conditions. So scientists ask an interesting question. Can we deliver the medicine through the skin without using any needles? The answer is yes. So this is where the transdermal drug delivery system come into the picture. So have you ever seen these products? Nicotine patches used to help the people quit smoking. Pain relief patches applied on the back or shoulders. Some motion sickness patches placed behind the ear. Hormone replacement patches. So do these patches simply stick to the skin, or do they actually deliver the medicines into the body? Yes, they deliver the medicines continuously through the skin into the bloodstreams. Introduction to the transdermal drug delivery systems. So here is a small definition. So the transdermal drug delivery system is a dosage form that delivers the drug through the intact skin into the systemic circulation at a controlled rate over a prolonged period. So normally when we take a tablet, the drug travels to the stomach and intestines and is absorbed into the bloodstreams and passes to the liver. So this is called first pass metabolism. So which can reduce the amount of the active drug reaching the circulation here. So in transdermal systems, the medicine is applied directly to the skin as a patch here. So the drug slowly diffuses through the skin and enters the bloodstreams without passing through the gastrointestinal tract. Okay. So here I'm giving some real life examples, that is nicotine patch for smoking cessation, and nitroglycerin patch for angina pectoris, and fentanyl patch for chronic pains, and scopolamine patches for the motion sickness. So can every medicine be given as a patch? So why or why not? So the expected answer is no only. So only the drug with the suitable physiochemical properties can penetrate the skin here. Okay. So let us see the history and the evolution of the TDDS. So the historical development. So the scientists have long researched for the painless and the controlled methods of the drug delivery. The ancient civilization applied the herbal preparations on the skin. So the modern transdermal technology developed in the late 20th century here. In 1979, the first FDA approved transdermal patch, that is scopolamine, was introduced for the motion sickness. Okay, so since then the patches have been developed for the pain management, hormone replacement therapies, smoking cessations, and the neurological disorders. Why were the patches developed here? So in order to reduce the frequent dosing and improve the patient compliance, in order to avoid the injections and provide the continuous drug release. Okay. So clinical importance. So the patients with the chronic diseases often forget to take the tablets here. So a patch applied once every few days provides the sustained therapy here. Okay, for example, a patient with a chronic pain can wear a fentanyl patch for 72 hours, eliminating the need for rejecting the injections. So that's how we will enter into the evaluation of the TDDS. Okay, so why is the skin suitable for drug delivery? The skin, the largest organ here, so the surface area of the skin is nearly 1.5 to 2 square meters, and accounts for the approximately 15% of the body's weight here. So the thickness varies from 0.5 millimeters to 4 millimeters. So the function of the skin is in order to protect against the microorganisms, prevents the water loss, regulates the body temperature, provides the sensation, and synthesizes the vitamin D. Why deliver drugs through the skin only? So although the skin is a protective barrier, some drugs can slowly diffuse across it when formulated appropriately. So imagine the skin as the main gate of the high security building. So unauthorized people, that is microorganisms, harmful chemicals, are stopped there. So only a selected molecules with the right characteristics can enter here. So in order to get the clear-cut analogy for this topic, I will give a small activity for you guys, that observe a commercial pain relief patch and discuss why it remains on the skin for several hours. Okay, so if you are interested, miss, try to do this activity. Okay, and the structure of the skin. So the skin mainly consists of 3 major layers here, that is epidermis. So that is the first. So the outermost layer here, that there is no blood vessels here, so mainly contains the 5 sub layers, that is stratum corneum, stratum lucidum, stratum granulosum, and stratum spinosum, and the stratum basilar. So the stratum corneum, this is the most important barrier for the drug permeation here. So it consists of the dead keratin filled cell surrounded by the lipid layers here. So the brick and the mortar model, so imagine that model here. So the bricks are like the dead corneocytes here, and the mortar is equal to the lipid matrix. So imagine like that in order to get the clear cut idea. So the drug must cross this barrier before reaching the deeper tissues here. Okay, and the second most layer is the dermis. It mainly contains the blood vessels, hair follicles, sweat glands, sebaceous glands, nerves. So once the drug reaches the dermis, it is absorbed into the systemic circulation. Okay, so and the next layer is the hypodermis. So mainly contains the adipose tissues. So its mainly function is to shock absorptions, thermal insulations, and the energy storage. Okay, so that is the main function of this hypodermis. Chemical correlations are, the skin on the forearm is thinner than the skin on the sole. So the drug absorption differs depending on the application site here. Okay, so let us see the mechanism of the drug penetration through the skin. So the drug molecules cross the skin mainly by the passive diffusion following the concentration gradient here. So the first step is that the patch releases the drug onto the skin surface. So the next task is to, the drug should dissolve the moisture present on the skin. Okay, after that the drug penetrates through the stratum corneum. So the drug diffuses through the variable epidermis, and then in the next step the drug reaches the dermis and enters the blood vessels. Okay, so this is the main pattern how the drug reaches the blood streams. Okay, so there are mainly 5 steps are included here. So observe the diagram. So 3 permeation pathways. So there are so many pathways are there. So the first one is the intercellular route. So the drug travels between the adjacent skin cells through the lipid matrix. So this is the most common pathway. Okay, and second one is the transcellular route. So the drug passes through the cells themselves here, crossing the altering lipids and the aqueous environment. Okay, and third one is the appendiceal route. The drug passes through the hair follicles and the sweat glands. Although this route provides faster access, so it contributes only in smaller portions of the total absorption, because these appendages occupy less than 1%, that is 0.1% of the skin surface here. Okay, so let us see one example, that is think of an crowded city. So the intracellular route is nothing but traveling through the narrow streets. Okay, and transcellular route is like passing through the buildings, and the appendages route is using underground tunnels. So imagine like that. So then you will get clear-cut information of what is what. Okay, so which pathway contributes most of the transdermal drug absorption here? Tell me. That is intracellular pathway only. Okay, so the ideal drug properties for the TDDS. Okay, so here is a small introduction that not every drug can be formulated as a transdermal patch. So the skin is a strong barrier here, so only the drugs with the suitable properties can pass through it, right? So what are the ideal characteristics which are required are, that is low dose. So the drug should require only in a small daily dose, that is generally 10 to 20 mg per day only. So the high dose drugs cannot easily diffuse through the skin. Okay, and second is the molecular weight is the next factor. So preferably less than 500 daltons. So the smaller molecules diffuse more easily. Okay, so like that we have to prefer. And next one is the balanced lipophilicity. So the drug should be both water soluble and the lipid soluble are needed to be included as a patch. Okay, so the lipid solubility helps to cross the stratum corneum here, and the water solubility helps to enter the blood streams. So both are required here. Okay, and potent drugs. So the drug should produce the desired effect at a low concentration. So such drugs we will prefer. And non-irritant. So the drug should not cause any skin redness, itching or allergy. So like that we have to choose the drug. So such drugs are needed to be preferred here. Okay, so examples: nitroglycerin, nicotine, fentanyl, estradiol. So this system is not suitable for insulin, heparin, monoclonal antibodies. Okay, it is suitable for nitroglycerins, nicotines, fentanyls and estradiols. Okay, so I will ask one small question. So why can't insulin be given through an ordinary transdermal patch? Because insulin has a large molecular size and cannot penetrate through the stratum corneum here. Okay, so now we'll see the components of the transdermal patch. So every transdermal patch contains several important layers. So what are those layers means? First is the drug layer, polymer matrix, pressure sensitive adhesive, backing layer, release layer liner and permeation enhancer. So we will see one by one clearly here. First start with the drug. So the active pharmaceutical ingredient responsible for the therapeutic effect is the drug. So that is needed to be included in the preparation. And second one is the polymer matrix. So stores the drug and controls its release. For example, ethyl cellulose, HPMC, uracil, like that we will prefer as a polymers. And pressure sensitive adhesive is highly needed. Okay, as these are the transdermal patches, they needed to stick to the skin. We needed to include this adhesive in the formulation here. Example, acrylic adhesives and silicone adhesives. And And next one is the backing layer. So what is this backing layer means? It mainly protects the patch from moisture and environmental damage. Okay, so and release liner, it may remove before applying the patch. Okay, so what is the initial peel off we are generally do while using these patches means, that is release liner, that is mainly to remove before applying the patch here. And permeation enhancers, so in order to improve the drug permeation through the skin, we will use some enhancers like ethanols, DMSO, folic acids, terpenes, like that. So real life analogy is, think of a parcel. So here drug is equal to the gift, polymer is equal to the gift box, adhesive as a tape, backing layer is a outer cover, and release liner as a plastic wrapper here. Okay, so let us see about the types of the transdermal patches. The first is the reservoir systems. So the drug is stored in a reservoir first. So a membrane controls the release rate here. So what are the advantages of this reservoir system is, in order to achieve the zero order release and accurate control. So we will use the drug reservoirs here, and disadvantages is leakage may occur sometimes. Examples copalmin patches. Okay, and second is the matrix system. So the drug is mixed directly with the polymer. So advantages of this method means easily, in order to achieve the easy manufacturing and flexibility and the widely used capabilities of the system here. And the drug in the adhesive system. So the drug is incorporated into the adhesive layer. So what are the advantages means, in order to achieve the thin comfortability and economical reasons. And micro reservoir systems. So combination of the reservoir and the matrix systems provides the control release here. So I will ask one question. So which system is mostly used today? So the answer is the drug in adhesive or the matrix systems, both. Okay, so let us see about the permeation enhancement techniques. So because of the skin is a stronger barrier, the scientists use the permeation enhancers here. So chemical enhancers are there like ethanol, folic acid, DMSO, surfactants, terpenes. So these temporarily loosen the lipid structure of the stratum corneum here. Okay, and some physical enhancement methods are also there like microneedles. So create the microscopic pores without causing pain. Okay, anatophoresis uses a mild electric current to push charged drugs through the skin here. And sonophoresis, so use the ultrasound waves to enhance the permeation here. And electroporations uses short electrical pulses to create the temporary pores. And laser ablation, so creates the microchannels in the skin. Okay, so evaluation of the transdermal patches. So the quality control test includes thickness measurement, weight variation, drug content, moisture content, folding endurance, tensile strength, peel adhesion, tag test, in vitro diffusion studies, skin irritation studies, and stability studies. So why are these tests are important means, in order to ensure the uniform drug delivery, mechanical strength, patient safety, and for long shelf life. Okay, so this is how we will evaluate the transdermal patches. So here are some marketed transdermal products like nitroglycerin is used in the treatment of angina, and nicotine for smoking cessations, and fentanyl for chronic pains, and clonidines for hypertension, and estradiol for hormone replacement, scopolamine motion sickness, and rivastigmine for Alzheimer's disease, and rotigotine for Parkinson's disease. Okay, so patients with the Parkinson's disease may forget the multiple tablets daily. So a rotigotine patch delivers the medicine continuously for 24 hours, improving the compliance here. So what are the advantages of this transdermal drug delivery? Means in order to avoid the first pass metabolism and maintain the constant plasma drug levels. And another advantage is reduces the dosing frequency, improves the patient compliance, painless administration can be achieved, and easy removal if adverse effects occur. Okay, and reduces the gastrointestinal side effects and are suitable for the long-term therapy. Okay, if a patient who forgets the tablet daily can simply apply one patch. Okay, and let us see about the limitations of this TDDS. Means only potent drugs are suitable here, so that is the topmost limitation. And the next one is the skin irritation or the allergy. So sometimes the skin irritations may be observed for some patients. Okay, and low onset of action and a limited drug loading capacity. So that is the most noticeable disadvantage here. And the patch may detach due to sweating, so otherwise may be wetting. Okay, and expensive compared with the tablets, so that is the another disadvantage. And the variable absorption depending on the skin conditions here. So why are the antibiotics generally not formulated as a transdermal patch? Anybody knows? So why? Because means mostly require the high doses and have a poor skin permeability. Okay, so that's the reason. So let us see the future perspectives. So the future technologies includes the microneedle patches, nano enabled transdermal systems, wearable smart patches, glucose responsive insulin patches, vaccine patches, gene delivery patches, AI controlled drug release systems. So all these are all the future perspectives. So the scientists are developing the insulin microneedle patches that automatically release the insulin when blood glucose levels rise. Okay, so all these are all the future aspects. So here is a final message that the transdermal drug delivery systems represents one of the most successful advances in the novel drug delivery systems. So by delivering the drugs to the skin in a controlled, painless and the patient-friendly manner, so the TDDS improves the therapeutic outcomes, enhances the patient compliance and reduce the systemic side effects here. So with emerging technologies such as microneedles, nanotechnology and the smart wearable patches, so the future of the transdermal drug delivery is highly promising. So today we explore one of the most patient-friendly and the innovative drug delivery system in the modern pharmaceutics, that is transdermal drug delivery systems. So we learned that the skin is not just a protective covering but also a route for delivering the medicines into the body. So we discussed the structure and the function of the skin, the drug permeation pathways, components and the types of the transdermal patches, permeation enhancement techniques, advantages and limitations, marketed transdermal products, and the future developments such as microneedles and the smart patches. So here the microneedles and the smart patches are also one of the interesting topics. Okay, we will discuss them in a future videos also. Okay. So here remember one important point, that a successful transdermal patch is not just a medicine. It is carefully engineered system that delivers the right amount of the drug at the right rate for the right duration. Okay. So as future pharmacists, your role is not only to dispense the medicines but also to understand the science behind advanced drug delivery systems and educate the patients on their proper use. So thank you for your active participation throughout today's class. So any questions or doubts, I would be happy to discuss them. Okay. So innovation in the drug delivery transformation medicines into the smarter, safer and more patient-friendly therapies. So the transdermal drug delivery is a perfect example of this transformation. Thank you.